So we're working with artisans and craftsmen who know how to do this at the highest quality level. We're looking for the best materials, best ingredients, that duty of care, that depth that a heritage brand gives you. And at the end of the day, Abed, you got to do what's right for things in the long term. You got to take care of things, right? We have an immense duty and sense of responsibility when we know that we've been dealing with a brand that is more than 14 decades old. And what we do today needs to, ensure us that we can live for another 140 plus years. And it's about doing the right thing all the time for the sustainability of the business, right? And if we're all of our assets have been restored, they're treasures that have been restored. So our hotel in Rome, the Orient Express La Minerva, was built in the 1600s, and it is actually Rome's oldest running hotel. It became a hotel in the 1800s. And the restoration, renovation, transformation it went through took almost 3 years. And it's done impeccably. And the amount of research that was done, the hours of study research that went in there, I mean, they're in the thousands. The craftsmen that were brought over, that takes time to put together, and everything is custom made for that hotel, from the lamps to the fabrics to the furniture to the design. In Venice, this is a palazzo that was abandoned that dates back to the 1400s, and it's never been a hotel. And you can appreciate it's in Venice, it's on top of the water, it sits on water. Restoring something like that is almost an impossible, a Herculean feat. It took 8 years
Oh,
for the
wow.
investor to restore the property, and he did it hand in hand with the Italian government, because it's literally like when you're restoring art and treasure. And that was done under the care of an extraordinary artist as well. And everything there is custom made, from the chandeliers to the side tables, everything. The trains that we have right now in Italy, La Dolce Vita, these were discarded trains of Trenitalia that date back to the 1960s and 70s. And La Dolce Vita celebrates that time period, right? It's mid 20th century, post war Italy. And it was about celebration and pleasure and art and culture and color. It was meant to be a happy time after such difficult time period. And so those trains were restored. And what's so interesting about this train restoration project is that most people who work on trains and yachts, that's an industrial process. So here we've had to marry industrial with artisanal process to get this done. So that's the Italian portfolio. There's another train that we're in the process of restoring right now. These are 1929 original Orient Express carriages that were abandoned in between the border of Belarus and Poland, and they are worse than relics. I mean, these things were corroded, discarded, and now they're being restored in across three sites in Italy, France, and Serbia. And they're going to be absolutely stunning, done to code of 1920s Art Deco on the yacht, which is new, and it's an engineering marvel of 2026 of our time. The exterior, obviously, is the latest technology, but the inside was crafts made, again, done to the Art Deco movement of the 1920s. So, and why we chose the 1920s is because that was one of the golden eras of travel. So it's that preservation, restoration, it takes time, it takes money, it's very capital intensive. And most of the people that are restoring these trophies, they have to have a very long time horizon. And these are mostly private investors who are keeping it for wealth preservation and for generations to come. So I would say that's just the product. The service has to complement and supplement the product. We have to have depth in terms of historical significance. And in the case of Orient Express, also literary significance, thanks to Agatha Christie and her 1934 novel. And, we also have to be looking forward, because the brand at its time, when it was launched in 1883, it was done by a 38-year-old Belgian entrepreneur in Paris. And it was again, it was an engineering marvel. It was state of the art. It connected people to places on the train from Paris to Constantinople back in the day. And it was done not just to perfection from an industrial point of view, but with the greatest care, from an artisanal and artistic point of view. It was very European. And so this is what we need to do as well. We also need to project forward, because, nostalgia is good, but not everything needs to be 100% nostalgic.